When I was 7 years old, my life was split into two completely different lifestyles. My parents had gotten a divorce. Since then, I have been living in two completely different houses that were poles apart from one another. Not only that, but I have to keep up with the studies and all the energy they drain from all of us. As you may have guessed, I was exhausted, both physically and mentally. Years passed, and I sort of found a balance between my personal life and my school. But all came together at the last year of high school, having ended with the pandemic and having to cope with the stress of studies would have been impossible without the help of resilience. So, what is resilience? Resilience, on its core, is the ability to adapt to difficult or challenging life experiences. It is the ability to bounce back and reach greater heights than before. Think of it like a spring. If you push it towards the table, you feel the pressure that you're exerting into it. But once you release, the spring has the innate ability to bounce back and reach higher. In my experience, I have to cope with, or resilience played an important role in my life, as I need to cope with the struggles the school and my family were putting on me. Since my mom fell ill of COVID-19 and we had to return to classes, my life was going to take a drastic turn. Once I realized I didn't have to increase my efforts, but to amplify them exponentially. And then I succumbed. I started going to bed at 3 a.m. I started eating less and taking less care of myself. Everything seemed like a free fall without any means to climb back up. But then, as the time passed, I discovered the power of resilience and how I could use it to understand my weaknesses and become better. In a study conducted at the University of Germany of Applied Sciences, by examining the different levels of resilience among different students, they found out that there was a lower likelihood of dropping out amongst the students that had higher levels of resilience than the other half that didn't have that skill developed. Not only that, but they discovered that the ability to cope with change more easily increased their overall life satisfaction. The research concluded that individuals with higher resilience were capable of changing their life problems into opportunities to grow. Nowadays, we're living in a society that is always changing. It's the COVID-19 pandemic, for example, the climate change, or the myriad of wars that are making us sleep with one eye open. Understanding how resilience works and how it can help us manage grief is a step forward for better life satisfaction. In 1969, Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross developed a method to understand the 5 stages of grief and how people deal with them. With the help of resilience, we can understand them better and unravel new ways to act as we advance in the process of grief. First one I want to talk about is denial. In this stage, we have some difficulties on accepting the truth of their problem. It serves as a coping mechanism to protect us from the shock. Resilient people tend to move in this stage more quickly as we accept the truth as it is. On my experience, I knew I was going to have a long journey ahead. So, instead of denying the truth, I accepted it and I tried to do my best out of it. second stage of the grieving process is anger. When dealing with life problems, anger might kick in. We will feel irritated and we will ask to ourselves, why me? In this stage, resilient people tend to express their anger in healthier ways, as they try to do it more constructively and not violently. We try to use it as a catalyst to focus our energies where we can make a good change. The third stage of the grieving process is bargaining. Here, we might fall as a subject of deals with ourselves as we try to change something that has already been done. People with high resilience accept that some aspects are beyond their control and try to focus their energies where they can truly make a difference. The fourth stage, and in my part, the most hard one, is depression. Here, the feelings of sadness and the reality of our loss became more important. Feelings of hopelessness, restlessness, and denial are common in this stage. People here also may find it difficult to proceed in daily life activities as they are depressed. Resilient people also pass through this stage of sadness, but have coping mechanisms to deal with it, whether it's going with our loved ones, our friends, our family, whether it's just doing therapy, meditation, or if it's just having time with ourselves, watching a movie, etc. And then the last stage of the grieving process, the fifth one and the last one, the happy ending, is acceptance. Here, we finally understand the loss and we are able to still going with it. I want you to use these principles and remember them and use them whenever you have a loss or something that you cannot keep up with. I want them to use them I want you to use them as a foundation to fill them with your own experiences. Thank you.